What's up guys, this is Lenny, your fan of Stuff to You, and today I'm going to be doing an in-depth guide to talking about the Super Heavyweight Samurai FTK, what the best variant is, all your combo starters, all the different combos you have available to you, your extenders, different techs that you can put into the deck, and just an in-depth guide to really go over this because this deck, as you've probably seen from some of the OCG reports, is doing a lot better. Number one. Number two, we also have the ability to FTK once we get it in the TCG because OCG doesn't have access to the same cards as we do, and I'm pretty sure tilting entrainment doesn't exist in the OCG. So they're missing a card or two to get this FTK super consistent and not really needing a lot of bricks in the main deck. So let's get right into it and start off the video. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is your 12 main combo starters. You essentially have Wagon, Piercer, Soul Piercer, Wakaushi, and Bike, all as one card starters. All these FTKs are going to need two cards in your hand. They're going to need one specific card and one of literally anything in your deck almost. And so you have 3 Wagon, 3 Soul Piercer, 3 Bike, and 3 Wakaushi, and those all get you to FTKing. Now what's important to understand is that these cards all search, and they all search for each other, which essentially means that all of them do the same FTK, meaning that this version of the FTK for these 12 starters is streamlined. That means that you can get to this FTK as long as you open one of any of those 12 cards. If you open multiple of those cards, it just means that you're able to dodge Ash Blossom a little bit easier, and you're able to bypass an Ash Blossom or an Impermanence or something as a negate. But if you open only one of the starter, which is the only thing you need to open, then you can perform this FTK always the same way, regardless of which starter you open. So I'm going to be showing you guys now exactly how to get to each end board with each different combo starter. You're going to be seeing on the video here how each one starts and gets to this end board. All 4 combo pieces get you to the exact same end board, or quote unquote end board, which is a Super Heavy Samurai Link in the extra link zone, a Wakaushi in the zone it points to, a Tilting Entrainment in the extremity zone, a Big Benkai in one of the pendulum zones, a Soul Peacemaker in hand, and a Wakaushi in hand. Now this is really important, the fact that it's streamlined, because it means that every single combo can get to this area. Wagon is probably the least important combo piece because you don't need it to do any of the combos. So I would recommend, if you don't have to get Wagon, don't get it, because the 2 main pieces of the combo are Soul Piercer and Wakaushi. Bike isn't even super important because Bike's main purpose, aside from being extra searches and combo starting, is later on in the combo we're going to be reborning him with Axel Synchro, so we need him in the grave at some point. I like to do it early to avoid missing it or forgetting to do it, but you can do it later on in the combo if for whatever reason that works better for you. So now you're probably asking the question, well, how does the FTK actually win the game? How does it work? So the idea is basically that we are using Super Heavy Samurai Soulbreaker to deal 4,000 damage directly to our opponent twice, to deal 8,000 to win the game. Now, how do we do that? There is a pendulum monster, DDD something or other, I'll put the name in the description, who makes any monster's defense on the field 0. Soulbreaker Armor, which is a Super Heavy Samurai monster, can banish itself and all copies from the grave, minimum 1, to target 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster on the field and inflict damage to our opponent equal to the difference between its current defense and its original defense, as long as the current defense is lower. And then we have a level 12 Super Heavy Samurai Synchro with 4,000 defense. So we summon the level 12, we make his defense 0, and then we have Soulbreaker Armor in the grave, we banish it to inflict 4k, we get the second Soulbreaker Armor in the grave, banish it to deal a second 4k. Now what's important is that we have a couple different ways to pop our zones, our pendulum zones, to activate the pendulum monster, because we are using Beyond the Scales to get it out. We could use Beyond the Scales to pop our pendulum zones, or Baron. Baron is also good as protection for the combo. And Wakaushi is the way that we get our second Soulbreaker Armor on the field, because it can summon any Super Heavy Samurai monster from the deck. Wait, what's happening? No, it can't be. Is it really? Machina Metal Cruncher is the 5th combo starter in the deck, and also FTKs just as easily as the rest.
The scrubs are asking me,
Well, fan of stuff, how do you do the Machina combo?
and I tell them, look at the screen, dear scrublet, and you shall see. Follow the instructions, and you shall know how to move forth.
Well, I see that you searched for bike. What happens if I already opened bike?
Then do the bike combo. Just do the easiest combo in your hand. If you open Machina, doesn't mean you have to do the Machina combo. And as you can see here, things are getting a little spicy. We're doing some different comboing.
Well, fan of stuff, you told me it was gonna be streamlined.
Well, you know, things aren't always as they seem. We didn't even use Soul Peacemaker to summon Scales from the deck to reborn our Piercer. We summoned Wakaushi straight up because that's all we need to FTK our opponent. Here we synchro into Axel, make a reborn into Barone to pop our own Scales, and then we get tilting entrainment, which is perfect for our opponents since they are definitely going to be on tilt when we FTK them for the second game in a row. Take their points and move on to the next round, sir. This is a 2-0 quick if I've ever seen one.
I also did some just quick coding just to see what the chance was of opening your starter in your main hand in your opening 5 cards, and the chance of you opening a starter in your hand is about 92%, which is actually massive because it basically means that you're almost guaranteed to almost always open a starter. Basically 92 times out of 100 games you're going to open a starter, as long as you shuffle your deck properly. I also adjusted the code real quick just to see what the chances were if we didn't have Machina Metal Cruncher in the deck, and it drops to like 85%, which is a significant decrease, meaning that as long as you have these 15 starters in your deck, you do have a really high chance of opening up an FTK. Even though 85% is really high, getting into those 90s means that basically like 9 out of 10 games you're gonna have that FTK available instead of 8 out of 10 games, which is a massive difference because 1 game versus 2 games is a big deal when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh matches, which are best of 3s. So on top of being able to just FTK your opponent with like basically any 2 cards, these 1 card combos, if you don't like the FTK and you want to take out that engine, or for whatever reason you aren't able to FTK your opponent, you can always go into backup like Artifact Dagda plays and just go for Scythe monsters. Go for Artifact Scythe to interrupt your opponent from being able to do anything. And you just have so many extenders in the deck that you're just able to go off with, and being able to Scythe lock your opponent on top of having like FTKs galore with all kinds of cards in your deck, being able to like have extenders on top of extenders. As you can see, we're about to like end our turn after we set Scythe here, but we still have our Pendulum Summon, 4 cards in hand. We have a level 4 already on board. We have 2 zones available to pen summon from the extra monster zone if anything. Like, this game is absolutely over for whoever you're playing versus if you're able to go through with these combos. Just being able to Scythe lock your opponent, FTK, have a bunch of extenders, play through hand traps, not be interfered with by cards like Bestials. You run artifacts, Lancia in the main deck so that you can stop D-Shifter and DD Crow, and I guess also Bestials in a way. So you just have so much ability to just keep going over and over and over again that it's very difficult for me to see a situation where this deck is not a top tier contender. And so just some final thoughts just to go over things. You already obviously have realized that I think Super Heavy Samurais are going to be an extremely strong deck. Like I said, so many extenders, ability to play through hand traps, unaffected by Bestials. They have defensive capabilities. They have a lot of tools in their box that let them basically go off like crazy and do some combos that are extremely resilient and game ending at the same time, which is not something you see from every single deck, and it's not something that many decks can really proudly boast that they have. One of the problems with Super Heavyweight Samurais is obviously going second because you can't run spells and traps. You don't have access to Dark Ruler no more, evenly matched, these kinds of things. But because you have so much space in your main deck to put whatever you want in it, you can add in a bunch of hand traps to slow down your opponent. Things like Nibiru, Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, DD Crow. You can even run Bestials in the deck if you really want to, because the combo is irrelevant to the rest of your deck since you're running 15 combo starters that don't rely on anything else in your hand except having something to discard at any point in time. And since your deck is 37 or 40 monsters, you have the ability to just always have or almost always have those 2 cards. Like I showed, it's 92% chance to be able to open up one of those combo starters. What's interesting as well is that you can also run Therions in the deck, and then you have extra Omni Negates on top of that, because it just takes any machine in your grave and plop down an Omni Negate. Your opponent can't really do much. So I just wanted to take this moment to give a shout out to this Yu-Gi-Oh! To this channel in the description. Gozukio, they have like 60 or 56 subs. I only have 98, so I'm not like, oh my god, whatever. But I just wanted to shout them out because this channel is the combo, is the channel that I saw the FTK for 6 Samurais on for this variant. I came out with my own variant, I posted the video, and then I did the bare minimum research and looked up on YouTube, Super Heavyweight Samurai FTK, saw this one and was like, wow, that is 100,000 times better than my combo. Took it, adjusted it, made some changes to make it a little more consistent, have less bricks in the main deck, use less random monsters, found a way to do it, and this is the video that you're seeing right now. Added in a couple extra combo starters so the deck will be more consistent, and that's where we are now. So I wanted to shout him out because he did really good, and I liked his style a lot of video. It was very informative, almost like a documentary. It was really impressive. And last thing I want to talk about is just the formatting of my videos. I wanted to find a way to maybe do a little bit shorter length videos. I don't know if this one's going to make it under 10 minutes, but I want to try to keep things under 10 minutes in terms of my videos. And I know over here I jumped a lot around between serious and memes and all kinds of different stuff, but I'm trying to find kind of my style for YouTube, and I don't like the style of just my face is in the corner, a combo's going off, and I'm going, oh look, I played the card that you just saw me draw. So I'm going to try to figure out something for that, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.